my name is Nayla Al Khaja, and I'm a filmmaker. I've directed a few shorts, and I also enjoy producing very much. My background comes from painting. I do a lot of portraits, oil on canvas. But that's something I keep on a very low profile, but it's something I really, really enjoy. I love showbiz more than anything. It's what drives me, what wakes me up every morning. It happened very naturally. Like, I didn't really say, oh, when I'll be 21, this is what I'll do, when I'll be 25. I didn't have like precise set goals. Although now I have a, very clear plan for my company where I'm heading. But I did a lot of drama when I was a kid because I was extremely attached to films. I never knew I was going to be a filmmaker, actually. It just all came by accident because my background, as I said, the arts. I was definitely into the arts. But I watched a lot of films. I was a big movie buff, and never crossed my mind that I will ever make a film. But then when I was 19, I did a little documentary, and I just loved the whole process of a whole team coming together and working together. And I can't work on my own. I like having lots of people around me because of the energy. So that's how I fell into filmmaking. And I knew that after that one experience, this was it. This was my calling. I don't know if there was a specific moment, but I can just say that over the years, the more I get into it, the more I want to stay in it. The more attached you get to the medium, because it's almost like the more you learn, the less you know. And the places that film can take you is staggering. Like, you could today be at Sierra Leone living a very humble life, living in like 20 people in a little shelter, and the next thing you know, you're like in a royal palace somewhere in the world. Like, the one extreme to another in this medium is there. There's one thing that I must say: if you are a 9-to-5 person, this is not for you. I guess what I'm trying to do with my films is not a message per se, but it's just a journey that I'd like to take my audience with. Maybe they get affected, maybe they don't, maybe they hate it, they love it, whatever. As long as it has some sort of emotional impact on whatever level, I think that's the kind of stuff I like to do. Like a good example would be my first film, which was about pedophilia. After screening it privately to a group of women, a lot of them started talking about their own experiences when they were young kids, and some of them even said that it was the first time they actually mentioned it in public. So it was quite sensitive, but that's not always the case. These are just some of the shorts that I've done. Eventually I want to get into commercial filmmaking, but more on dramas and films and stories from our own people here that needs to be seen worldwide, and not just copy stuff that's out there. Try to be a bit more real and at home. I shot Malal in India because of the location. I mean, it's absolutely stunning. Kerala, the south. I was very surprised when I saw it. I didn't expect it to be super luscious and just beautiful greenery. And also the second reason was to get to know a crew from Bollywood. So it was very interesting for me to work with different crew from different parts of the world. And this was a great motivation and opportunity to work with Indians, and they're really excellent at their craft. I had a lot of obstacles. We shot after the monsoon season, and also leeches. We had a lot of thousands of leeches on the floor because we shot in deep forest. So we had a guy who was just there to, we're wearing boots, like gum boots, and he would like rub oil and salt so that the leeches don't come and crawl up. But eventually a lot of us, we were all bitten many times, and you would walk and just see blood seeping down your feet. It was gross. No, I never had the moment where I thought I'm in doubt of what I'm doing. I know this is what I want, and I'm gonna go for it. Mainly on a daily basis, I would say I get inspired by my brother, and to have an Emirati brother supporting a younger Emirati sister, I think that's really important. So I'm very lucky when it comes to him in my life, because I think it would be very difficult without it. At the moment, I'm preparing for my feature film, so that's my main focus. But on the long run, I would like to prepare a film fund where I'm producing 2 to 3 features a year. I would want to direct from time to time, but I also get an incredible thrill from producing, and I would love to work with different directors from around the world. Yeah, I mean, I'm working on another short. It's called The Neighbor, and it's about 2 neighbors. Duh. It's about an anorexic woman who has an elderly neighbor who's from our culture who tries to always feed her biryani at 5 p.m. And her neighbor gets a bit offended. It's a silent film. So I'm actually looking for actresses. I'm looking for an elderly woman who's a bit plump, and I'm also looking for very, very skinny girls. The fact that I'm speaking English right now says everything. The fact that I'm speaking to another Emirati colleague in English is another thing. So to answer that question about generation gap between us and our parents and grandparents in terms or context of our national identity, it's an ongoing question, and I think it will evolve on its own. During our parents' time, there wasn't much penetration of different nationalities around, so obviously their sense of identity was stronger. But as you know, that the UAE has over 220 nationalities. I'm showing off with enough, but we have 220 nationalities living in this country. So by default, us as the new generation, we're so open to, modern technology and media and whatever, all that stuff and above. It just puts you in a different playground. Now the whole globe is your playground. You meet different people from all around the world, and you get to ask questions that our parents never got to ask. So your curiosity is, in a different level, and you're probably asking questions you're not supposed to ask, and which probably will form your identity, whatever that may be. We still love who we are and our roots, but I'm someone who's going to say something very controversial. I think, for instance, our national clothes will not exist forever. I think there will come a day when we won't be wearing them anymore, and a lot of people will be upset about that, but I think it's a natural development of who we are. Yes, I'm extremely passionate about ice skating. I can ice skate. I can turn really fast. I can do backflips, and I can run like no one does. They need to be passionate, persistent, and they just have to want it so bad, because they can get bored with it, because it's very aggressive, it's very intense, it sucks all your energy out. So you have to really want it on a daily basis, because they're going to be worn out and quit. It's not something where you sit, do minimum hours, and make a lot of wage. It's the other way around. You work very, very hard, and you're always broke. So everything. And the most important thing, I would say, at the bottom is to be fearless. If you have a little bit of fear, if it crosses your mind like, oh, what if, but I can't, they might not like it, it's not going to work out. You have to be completely fearless, make all the mistakes, learn from them, and move on. This is Nayla Al Khaja, and you are logged on to thinkup.ae. That's thinkup.ae.